Hello and good morning, everyone. It's another nice Saturday, and we're here in the workshop two about MIT Elementor. So I'm not sure if it's a very early Saturday or it's the first Saturday of the holiday, so everyone's like chilling at home. But if you have friends that you know that in your group they're supposed to join but they haven't wake up yet, please text them or give them a call. Make sure they're online so we can start this together. Okay. We're gonna wait for another 3 minutes. We're gonna start sharp on 5:35. Make sure your friends are online. Or if you are online, let's say let's just type good morning in the chat. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Morning. Okay, I see one. Nice, nice. You're online. Okay. Today we are going to run through a few other apps as an example. Nice. Okay. I'm glad that you're online. Please stay online throughout the meeting, okay? I'm gonna I'm gonna go through three apps today. We're gonna work together. So I get a bit of an idea on how to create more advanced mobile app. That'll be the agenda for today. So the 2.5 hours today is gonna be fun. Okay, if you just joined, welcome and good morning. If you have friends that have not wake up yet, please call them, ask them to join, tell them stop sleeping. I mean, tell them to wake up. Yeah. Okay, one more minute. So if you are ready and sitting in front of your laptop already, you can pull out your laptop. Or if you are not on your laptop, you can go to your laptop or your PC. Okay, we're gonna start really soon. Today we're gonna run through 3.5 apps. We're gonna do a little bit of warm up, and then after the warm up, we'll start with the app, and then we'll go through it together. It will be like last time, but last time we focused a lot on the technical parts. Today we're just gonna do hands-on a lot. So if you have your laptop and open your MIT Elementor, it will be really great because if I think it will be more effective if we do together. Okay, so let's start with some warm up. I think today is the first day of your holiday, and then I hope you guys are excited. No matter what form are you in or which primary are you in, it's a holiday, right? So I think it's is it 2 weeks or something? So as a warm up, we're gonna play a game of holiday, right? What are you going to do? What's your plan in your 2 weeks holiday? What's your plan? Your holiday plan. Okay. Anyone wants to open their mic and say this is a really small group of people today. I think it would be great if everyone opens their mic and then start talking. Or if you guys are shy or feel like it's early morning, I don't want to talk, you can type in the chat, okay? So the first one of the day will be what's your holiday plan? Anyone? What's your holiday plan? It doesn't need to be long. I'll start first, okay? My holiday plan is to um learn how to swim. Okay, my holiday plan is to learn how to swim. What about you guys? Go to Kuching. Nice. Okay. It's gonna be a traveling for you. Nice, nice, nice. Really, really great to hear that. Anyone else? What's your holiday plan? We're gonna take like two more answers and then we start writing. Study. Wow. Are you currently Form 5 now? And then you're like locked in for SPM? Or you're just very hardworking? That's really nice. That's really nice to hear. Anyone else? WXS, Acer, Evelyn, what's your holiday plan? And I get one more answer. No? Okay, cool. So we're gonna jump right in. We're gonna start. Movie, nice movie. Okay, what kind of what are the shows that are trending on? I know that the Wednesday season 2 just released, and I think it's quite cool. I haven't have time to watch it yet, and a few movies as well. I mean, yeah, but that's good to know. Finally have like a 2 weeks break, right? You can just binge watch all the shows, all the Korean dramas. You can finish everything. That's nice. So let's start right in. Let's jump right in into our MIT workshop for today. So today we're gonna start with one warm up and then 3 apps. Okay. So for people that haven't got in front of the laptop already, please go in front of your laptop and then we open MIT App Inventor together. So search up MIT App Inventor on Google and then click create apps. Okay, click create apps. I want everyone to be on the same page with me before we start. Okay. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. All right. Okay. So first of all, we are going to open this website, appinventor.mit.edu, or just search up MIT Inventor, and then we click on this create apps. Okay, we click on create apps, and then it's gonna bring us to this page. Welcome to MIT App Inventor. Okay, and then you want to start a new project. Okay. If you if you have not used this before, you might need to log in. So just take like a minute or two, like log in and then get to the same page as me. I'm gonna wait for like a few minutes while everyone's opening up their app, cleaning up their table, getting a water, putting on music or something. I don't know. So today we are gonna start with the first app. And then for those who are already on this page, you can start thinking of the idea. For those who are not on the page yet, please take your time to open it. So our first app is to do a click counter. So if you are in the workshop last week, we talked about the variable. So we have a global constant, global variable, and we talked about how this X follows us for life, right? So we're gonna use the same function here, and then we are gonna create a click counter. So every time I click, I want to add a number to my account. So I need a button, I need a label, I need a variable. And then the variable will store how many clicks I've clicked before. Okay, so this is the first app I want to do. So this is like a mini recap of last week's workshop. So we're gonna run through the stuff that we learned, and then we're gonna apply it in the first warm up. It should be a really chill warm up. I am sure that everyone here can do it. So if you are ready, we are going to start now. Oh, okay, another participant just popped in. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so I hope everyone is on this page. If you are not, please please put in the chat that you're not, so we can wait for you. Or if you are done, we're gonna start right away. So I'm just gonna go through this really quickly. On the left side, we have our palette, which is the user interface, everything we want to add in the app. On the right side is the settings of the component. So here I can design how I want the colors, the looks, and then on the top right corner, we have blocks. Blocks is like Scratch. If you use Scratch before, it's like block system for you to program the app. So there's control, if else statement, logic, math, text, etc. Okay, so now we're gonna jump right into Designer, and then we need to rethink about the prompt that we have. So I'm gonna type in the chat. First, we want a click counter. I want to store variables. I want to add one to each click. Okay, so this is the problem we have. Now we need to create the app. So first of all, I need a button for my click, right? So here, just a quick revision. Here from property, I can change the text here to click me, exclamation mark. And then now I can put a label here, which says count. And then I can put another label here, which says 0. Okay, a quick quiz, guys, a quick quiz. I don't need you all to type it in, but I just want you to think yourself and have the answer in your own mind. So now I want to move the 0 exactly to behind count. Which layout I'm going to use? 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the layout I'm going to use is actually the horizontal arrangement. So I can put a count in and I can put the 0 behind. Right, so here we have count and 0 on the same row. Okay, I think that's quite self-explanatory. Now we go to the blocks, but before we go, we need to make sure that we remember the name of it. So the first one is button. Again, just a quick revision. We can rename the button here to whichever I want. So let's say I put click, and then here I put count. Okay, great. Now everything is named. I can go to my blocks. So what happens here is when we are programming our application, we think about the actions we do and the actions that I do. So what's the first action I will do here is I'll actually click the button, right? So here I'll choose one. When the button is clicked, when click is clicked, what happens here is I want to add 1 to my count. I want to add 1 to my count. So that's the first two things that a user expects. So what the app needs to do now is I want to store a variable. So I want to initialize, means I start something. Okay, initialize means I start something. I want the global count to, the global count should be the text here, right? The text here is 0. So my global count is 0. So when the button is clicked, I want to set the count to my global count. Okay, so this is not complete yet. Note that we set the variable count into 0, right? So when it's clicked, I want to set the text to global count. So this basically means I want to set my text to count. So it's gonna set the text back to 0, which is not what I want. I want to add 1 on top of it, right? The number 1. So here I can go to math, and then I can use this addition block. So I can actually just put it here. So when I click the button, I want to set the text to, I get whatever text here, and then I plus 1. Okay, here is another tricky part. Here we must always use the blue one from the math column to type 0 instead of the text to type 0. Why? Because the math here only accepts number. And then what we want to add is number, right? If we add text here, it's actually adding a text of number, the digit 1, which is not what I wanted here. What I want here is I want the number itself, like the integer of 1 to be added to the count. Okay, so this is just a very simple warm-up that I hope everyone is catching up. So I'll give guys another like 5 minutes just to set this app up. And then just to remind everyone how does this thing work is we download the app of MIT App Inventor on our phone, and then we click connect here, and then AI Companion. Then we scan the code, QR code here, we can connect to the app. Okay, so with this program, the blocks here, and with this designer here, what the app is going to do is when I click, the count is going to add +1, +1, +1, +1. All right, everyone get what I mean, right? Cool. So I'll give you another 5 minutes. So if you are done, type count in the chat. If you are not done, I'll wait for you for a bit. And then we are going to move on to the first problem today. Okay. So for those that just entered, we are going to run through 3 problems today, and then we are going to solve the problems together. I'll give you like a 5 minutes to think, and then I'll tell you the answer, and then we will do it together. Okay. So first of all, this is warm up, and then if you're done, type count in the chat. If you are confused with any part, please ask questions in the chat, or you can just private message me with the Zoom chat function. No worries at all. Okay, I hope you guys are working on it. If you are done with the app and it's working, type count in the chat. Type count in the chat. If not, please ask questions. We are going to move on around 3 minutes later. So you have 3 minutes to do um your own project. Right. Okay, I see one count. Good, good, good. Glad that you all are following and it's understandable. Okay, I hope everyone is still catching up. I'll give another 1 minute. If you are still working on it and still need more time, you can tell me in the chat so we can wait together. Or if not, I'm just going to assume that you either understand what is going on already, or you have done it and you know what is going on already. Okay, type count in the chat if you are ready for the first problem of the day, or you have done the app. Okay. If you are not and still need more time, I don't know. Okay. Tell me which part you don't know. Okay, actually, I'm gonna show you the blocks so you can just copy. Yeah. Here is one, by the way. Just in case that your things your stuff didn't work. Okay, this is the code that is needed. Plus ones means every time I click, I set my label, the text of my label, into my variable plus one. So whatever variable I have, I will plus one every time I click. Yeah. That's if it's not working, then you just copy whatever I put in here. Okay, and try to understand. Which part you don't understand, you can like ask further, or if you think you're good with it, then it's fine. Count. Nice. Okay, I have another person done the work together. Good, good, good. Okay, I know now. Yes. Good. Okay, so we have 3 people done already. So the others, if you need more time, please text, or I'm going to assume that you are done already and you understand everything already. Okay? Count. Nice. Okay, another one done. Okay, great. So I assume everyone is done. If you need more time, please tell. But then we are going to move on to the next one. So when we hear the word count, right? The thing I have in mind is calculator. So now let's create a calculator app, okay, or a really simple app for me to count, okay, for me to do simple calculations. Okay, so when I think about calculations, you want to put on the thinking hat, okay, you want to put on thinking hat. We talked about minimal viable product in our very early on workshop, if you still remember. It's around mid of August. We talked about minimal viable product, the least amount of function I can put in to make the thing achieve my goal, meaning the most simplified version of the app. So now we think about calculator, and then the most simplified version of a calculator app should be only the function about plus, minus, divide, and multiple. Okay, I want to do addition, I want to do subtraction, I want to do multiplication and division. Okay, so I want to create something to do multiplication, division, subtraction, addition. Okay, so this is the 4 functions I want to have. And then I want to have text box 1 and text box 2. So here I can choose the sign in between. So text box 1, text box 2, and then equals to something, right? So I need another button here, which is equals. Okay. Oh, wait, sorry, equals. So I need another button here, which is equals. And then now you need to think about the limitations in calculation. In what case I cannot see the calculator cannot do work. Okay. Do a little bit of brainstorm. This will be the tricky question in this app. And then I'll tell you the answer later on. Okay. So now if you are sitting in front of a laptop, which I know a few of you are, you can clear everything on the screen and then start working on your calculator app. So we're gonna work together, and then for like around 10 minutes to the design and the blocks. And then after the time where you are working on it, we are going to discuss the answer to it. Or if you think that your solution and my solution is different, and then your solution works as well, you are very encouraged to share your screen. So you tell everyone how can it be done in another alternative way. Okay, so that's up to you. But then for now, we are going to spend a few minutes on working on the calculator app together. We're gonna build it. You can follow my designer because I'm gonna build it together. So it's now around 9 in the morning. We're gonna be back on 9:10. And then we're gonna discuss the answer. For now, let's build the calculator app together. Okay. If you are not sure on what calculator app I'm talking about, you can ask in the chat. If not, let's work on it now. We are gonna be back soon. At the same time, I'm gonna do it with you together. So if you want to copy, you're welcome to do so. But then I'm gonna explain it later on. Okay. Okay. Well, I encourage you guys to have discussion. So you can brainstorm ideas in the chat as well with me or with your friends. Or if you're sitting together with your friends in front of the laptop now, I encourage discussions between all of you, all of the members here. So you can just ask them, oh, what are you working on? Like, why did you put a list speaker here? Why did you put a button there? And then exchange your ideas. Again, there's no right or wrong to these kind of questions because you just want to create something, right? As long as it serves the purpose of of the app, then it's the right answer. There's no right or wrong. Okay. Even if it's the calculator takes up the whole page, as long as it works, it's fine as well. I'm just gonna explain my version of calculator later on, and then you can tell me yours. Okay. So now I'll give another 8 minutes. Think about it, or you can work on it, and then we're gonna discuss the answers together. Okay. At the meantime, I'm gonna type the prompt in the chat. Okay. I listed a guide in the chat, so it's like questions to ask yourself while you are making this thing. So there is going to be a lot of limitations and like stuff you cannot do. And then when you are creating a minimal viable product, or when you're just like generally prototyping, you should um have a think about how these things gonna affect your work. Okay, I'm gonna put it down there as like a small tip, and then you try yourself, and then we're gonna discuss answers. If you have any questions, you can just ask straight away in the chat. You don't need to wait for me to say it's question time. Just that is it's a very free and easy meeting. It's just gonna be us running through 3 apps today. We're in the first one, and we're halfway there. Okay, stay in the mid, guys. I know it's a beautiful Saturday morning, and I know it's a first day of holiday as well, but hang in there. I think this will be more worth it than 2 hours of scrolling TikTok on your back. If you have any questions about like the entire thing, not just specifically this application, you can ask as well. I can answer it in the meantime while waiting. Or if you're just like spending your time working on it, then that's really great. I appreciate your effort. And then I'm sure that the effort you put in the workshops today, last week, next week, is going to be worth it in the competition itself. You're gonna learn a lot, and then when you apply it, I'll say that it's really useful, and it actually increases a lot of your chance to win because you spend a lot of time like exploring yourself. It's not just you're doing the task for the competition. You're like exploring because you love this kind of stuff, which is really great. And thank you for waking up early in the morning in a beautiful Saturday and the first day of holiday to join this workshop. That's really impressive. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the answer sharp on 6:10. So if you're not done by 6:10, it's fine. You can still work on it later, more like explain. Because I'm just gonna explain like the design here, and then we're gonna go on to the blocks. And then if you have like you're doing like similar stuff, you can work on yours, and then we're gonna compare our solutions. And if you want to, you can share screen. But then if you don't want to, it's totally fine. And it's all good. Okay. No pressure on the work that we're doing today. It's just training us how to apply those knowledge we learned last week into real stuff. 610. Now we are going to discuss the solutions to this calculator app. So first of all, what I did here is I did an horizontal arrangement, so I can arrange everything like the operations in a straight line, so it's clearer for the user to view instead of like making it vertically. I mean, it should work both way, but I think this way is more user friendly. As a user experience side of view, I will prefer this more than the vertical one. Okay. Second thing I did was I add a text box. I add two text box actually, so I can add two numbers or I subtract two numbers. And then in the middle, I put a list picker with a question mark in the middle. So my idea is when I click the list picker, I can choose the operations I want to use. So I can put like a addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. And then here I put a button as an equal sign. So every time I click the equal sign, it will help me do the operation. So every time I click equal, I'm going to change the text behind to the number that I calculated. Okay, so that's my designer part. That's what I think. And then now we are going to move on to blocks. Okay, so I'm not working on blocks yet, but then we were going to work on it together. But a very important thing to note here that I'm sure that you guys have like a similar thing with me or at least like somewhat similar. Now, what I need to change here, which is especially important when we are calculating numbers and numbers only, here actually we can choose it, the behavior. I can choose numbers only. So what if numbers only means is I can only type numbers in. What happens if I type alphabets in is because when I do alphabet addition, it clearly cannot work, right? So it's going to say error. And then sometimes when user has typo, the calculator doesn't work. So here it's very important for us to take these numbers only. Same for both this one. Okay. So now let's move on to blocks. I hope you guys are with me. So the first thing I want to do is to set the list picker elements, right? So this is just another quick revision from last week. How we are going to do is before list picker one starts picking, I need to create a list, right? I need to make a list. Okay. And then that should be set list picker elements. Okay, to make a list. And then I'll have text here, right? So I'll have 4 text here. One here. See, okay. Done. So first of all, I'm going to put addition, subtraction, multiplication, and then division. So here is a very simple one. I set the elements to make a list. And then another thing I need to note here is I want to also set the question mark into whichever I pick, right? So here I can do a list picker after picking. So when list picker after picking, I set the text, right? I can adjust the text of the list picker to my selection, right? To my selection. So this is a very simple and quick program of what my list picker do. So first of all, before picking, I make a list, plus, minus, multiply, divide. After picking, I set whatever is on my text, which is the question mark now, to whatever I selected. Okay, so this is list picker one before picking and list picker one after picking. So now we want to work on the button, right? Work on the equal button. Okay, I'm gonna give you time to like copy my program later on, just in case like you guys cannot follow, but don't worry about it. So when button one is clicked, what I want to do here is to actually do the math, right? So I can easily go to math and then put plus, right? Which doesn't really work here. Why? Two things. First one, you see this thing, the shapes doesn't connect. I cannot just do addition like that. I want to do addition for something else, right? what am I doing the addition for? Okay, actually it's for this label, right? I want to change this thing to whatever I add. So I'm actually doing addition for label 1. So here I can locate label 1, and then I want to set the text to my addition, right? The addition, which is my text box 1, my text box 1. I can either put numbers only or text only. It doesn't really matter here because in the front, I already put numbers only. So it's the same thing whether you want to put numbers only or text only, okay? But it doesn't fit in, so I'm just going to put text. Okay? Text and actually text box 2. Okay, so when button 1 is clicked, I can set the label 1 into text box 1 plus text box 2. But note that we can actually change it to addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, right? So this is the tricky part. How are we going to make sure that every time it's not just plus only? Think about it. Right, think about it. So I'm just gonna count the answer here. We can use if else statement, right? Here. If else. So first, I get the list picker, right? If the list picker selection, if whatever I selected is plus, right? Then I set my label 1 to addition. All right. Now, else if my list picker selection 1 is minus, what am I going to do here is I'm going to change the addition into subtraction, correct? So here another else if, and another else if. Okay. Okay. I'm just copying and pasting. So if you're confused, don't worry about it. I'm going to give you time to like try out yourself later on, and then we'll be back. Okay. So don't worry if you are not catching up now. So clearly I don't want the plus here anymore. So I'm going to delete it, delete it, delete it. And then this is going to be multiplication and division. Okay. So here I actually use an X on my keyboard to substitute it, but actually it can be anything, right? It can the only math part here I need to take note of is this part. So here I do the subtraction, multiplication, and then division. So here I'll copy this one, then okay. So what this code is going to do is before I pick, I'm going to set my elements to plus, minus, multiply, divide. After I pick, it's going to change the text on my list picker into plus, minus, multiply, or divide. That's it. That's my setup for list picker. And then after that, when I click equals, when I do the operation, I'm going to check my if button. If the thing I'm selected is plus, okay, then I'm going to change label 1 into text box 1 plus text box 2. And if it's minus, it's going to be minus. Multiply is going to be multiply. Divide is going to be divide. Okay, now another tricky part here I typed in the chat just now. What a calculator cannot do or what cannot be calculated. So if you have your answer in mind, you can type it in your chat. I'm going to reveal the answer in 10 seconds. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so if you think about it, right, your calculator is going to say error if you divide anything by 0. Why? This is because you technically cannot divide 0. There's infinite. You can times 0 with any number, it's still going to be 0. So you technically cannot divide a number, a finite number, with 0 because it's going to show error. It's going to be infinity, right? So what we need to do here is we need to check this one. Else if it's divide, I need another if else statement here. right? If yes, if my text box to text is 0, okay, this is tricky here. If my text box to text, actually here I don't use the math one, I use the logic one. Because it's a text, it's not a number anymore, okay? If it's 0, I want to tell the user, right? So I want to set the label text to a text that says, that gives them a warning. Error, cannot divide by 0. Okay, if it's not 0, then it will do the division. So this is my calculator, my simple and quick calculator app. The code is going, the program is going to be here. I hope everyone knows how this calculator app works, okay? So I'm going to show you this one really quick. I need a text box, a list picker, text box, an equal sign, and then a label for answer. Okay. The important part here I need to take note of is I need to check these numbers only, and as well numbers only. Okay, for those who are working on it or would like to work on it, I'll give you a 5 minute to put everything in. I'm gonna show it here, right here. If you have any questions, please ask. And if you are ready to move on, type in the chat calculator or calc for short. Okay, so if you're ready, type calc. If you are still working on it, please do so, and I encourage you to work on it. We're going to be back at 6:30 for the next problem, because it will be, I think it's very useful for you to know what you're doing before we continue, because the next two problem is going to be slightly harder, like really hard. So it will be good if you understand this one first. Okay, so I'll give you some time to do until 6:30 or 6:35-ish, 6:30-ish, and then we'll be back. Okay, if you have any questions in the meantime, please ask. I'm gonna be here. Okay, to those that are done, I'll give you an additional challenge, which I'm not gonna give you answer to because I feel like with or without this function, it's gonna work the same. But I would love to have a function to clear the text box. Okay, I would like to add another button here that says clear, which I will clear the text box here. So let's say the user type already. I want to, when I press clear, I want to erase everything here, reset this back to a question mark. I think it works with or without this function, but I feel like this is going to be a cool feature to have if you put that in your app. So it's the same thing when you're designing your app for the competition. It's gonna work the same way, but in the sense of user experience, it's gonna be better if you add something in. So this is the stuff that you can think of. I'm not gonna tell you how to do it. I feel like this can be a take-home challenge. The hint would be set a text box to white or set the text box text to white. Easy. So you can just set it to nothing, right? It's just a good way of thinking. Every time when you're creating something, you are not only building the function out, also you're thinking on the perspective of the user. So you're like, in the point of view of the user, it would be more comfortable to me if I have a clear button instead of deleting it myself. Because it works and with or without the function, it's just a good thing to have. Okay, so that will be your take-home challenge. So I'll wait for a few more minutes. If you're done, type the calc in your set. If you are not done, I'll wait for a bit more and I'll give it another few minutes and I'm gonna assume that everyone's done and then we're gonna move on to the next project of the day. Okay. So to make the authentication with this, I'm not sure what you're asking about. I'm assuming that it's a project that you're working on, but I'm not sure what you mean authentication with this MIT app, like where parent account data is connected to children account. What do you mean by authentication? If you're talking about how you're making an app, but then because there's like a parental control, you have to disable it if that's the case. If not, I'm not sure what you're asking about. Maybe you can like explain another way because I'm not too sure what you mean by authentication with MIT app. Oh, parent control the children phone usage. You are creating the app to do so. No, it's not possible because controlling another phone's activity, it, it's technically not going to be allowed in your settings. It's not gonna work. unless it's by default. So let's say let's say it's a Samsung phone and that's like Samsung parental control, then it will only work. If you want to create an app that controls your children's phone usage, it's not going to be possible. Okay, it's not because of the skill issue about MIT Inventor, but it's about the system of your phone app. Because it will not be safe if I create an app that can control your phone, right? And then they say, oh, you're my children, I'm the parent, so I control your phone. Then it's obviously not going to be safe. So that is not going to be happening unless it's a built-in or by default app by the system itself. I think a lot of phones have those feature of parental control. I'm not sure. I think Apple has one. Let me check. Yeah, there's parental controls on Apple. I'm pretty sure there's one on Samsung as well. Uh, the others I'm not sure, but that should be on Android generally they do have those features. Okay, again, back to the calculator. If you are ready for the next app, type calc in the chat, or you think you understand everything already, you don't need hands-on. You can still type in calc and then we'll just move on. Oh, nice. Okay. I get one more person to be ready for the next one. Or 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 if you need more time, you can also type in the chat, or else I'm gonna assume that everyone is ready, and then we're gonna move on. Okay? Okay, great. Okay, we're gonna move on. Nice. So the next task I want us to make is a little bit of math, and I also want a little bit of user input. So just now it's a really simple math and a really simple um stuff I do. Now I want to do a shopping list and a budget. So the problem I'm trying to solve here is every time I go out to the supermarket, I always overbuy because I'll see, oh, there's new chips on the right. I'll take one. And then, oh, the chicken is on sale. I'll take one. So the proposed solution of me solving this problem is to have a shopping list app. And then in the shopping list app, I can add out to 5 items with their price. And then what I'm going to do is I want to calculate the price. So that is the app I'm trying to create. I'm going to type the prompt. Result for stage 2 is going to be today, Saturday, but the time is not confirmed yet. Yeah. Okay. And then, so back to the app, right? I want a shopping list. I want 5 items with the prices of them. And then I want a total item. And I want to add a condition here is if it is more than 50 ringgit, I want to show a warning. I want to show a warning if it's more than 50 ringgit. Okay, so that's it. That's it about my app. I want to have a shopping list of 5 items and then uh calculate the total cost and then warning when I over budget. Okay, think about how you want to do it, and then we are going to talk about it later. I'm gonna switch back to this screen. Actually, I'm yeah, okay, I'm just gonna switch back to the screen. I'm not gonna do while you're doing this time around because I feel like I should let you guys explore the designing part of MIT Inventor, and it will be worth your time. Trying out yourself again, especially working through these 3 apps today, because I feel like the examples I'm using today is quite closely related to or similar to what you are going to somehow create. So it's good if you do it today. Yay. So the shopping list and budgeting app, the prompt is in the chat. I'll give you like 10 minutes to think about it. We will start telling the solution 6:47 sharp. Okay, 6:47 sharp, we're gonna be back. I'm gonna tell you this solution. So in the meantime, if you want to go for a toilet break, you are very welcome to do so. Or if you have any questions to ask, you can ask in the chat. It does not need to be questions about the app or the workshop. It can literally be any questions because you guys are really quiet today. Like any questions also can, like you can ask me like what do you have for breakfast? I don't know if you're curious about it, I can share a bit maybe. Um yeah, so you're welcome to uh brainstorm, work on it, go to toilet, or ask any questions. Okay, I want a lot. I hope to have a lot of interaction. Oh yeah, and also if you have like you think your solution is good and like you are willing to share, you are really welcome to share your screen, and then we'll see it together. Again, there's no wrong or right or wrong to the answers. So it's chill. Okay, all the best. In the same time, just to keep things fun and interactive, I'm gonna ask questions in the chat. If you want to answer, go ahead. Okay. If you don't want to answer, it's fine. You can work on the thing, or you can have your toilet break. Mm. Scan picture of an item and identify the price. Unfortunately, no, but it will be cool if you add the picture function in. You just save the picture in, so you doesn't need to identify the price. The user still can like type in the price itself, but to have a picture of it, I think it'll be cool. It'll be a cool feature. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I'm just gonna ask fun questions. So which one do you guys prefer? Rainy weather or sunny weather? It's not it's just a fun question. If you want to answer, go ahead. If you don't want to, it's fine. I'm gonna leave it there. Just in case you guys are bored, like you're done with your stuff and you're like, oh, there's nothing to do. Hmm. Rainy weather, okay. Why? For me, it would probably be if it's a hot day, then I'll prefer rainy weather. And if it's like a rainy day, I want a sunny weather. I think it's quite contradicting. Like it's always you want something that you don't have. And then when you have rainy weather, you're stuck on being like, the weather is so rainy, I cannot do sports. And then you want the sunny weather. And when it's sunny weather, it's like, oh shit, it's so hot. I want the rainy weather. But is it not? Yeah, exactly, right? Like it's kind of annoying sometimes. But rainy weather, nice. I think rainy weather is like the time where you can stay in your room under the blanket on your phone, not doing something or listening to music. Okay, so back to the prompt. Let me just repeat. What you want to do is to make a shopping list of 5 items, and then on the right side you have the total cost, and then you want to add up all the total cost, and then give a warning when someone is over budget. Okay, so the items should be manually entered by the user, and then the cost should also be manually entered by the user. Okay, And then I'll have a total cost down there. I'll do like simple math, simple addition, and then I'll give a conclusion, whether you're overspending or underspending. Of course, you can add like a few more if else statement if you want to. It's definitely up to you. And also, I encourage you to share your ideas or like ask your friends like in the Zoom meeting, what are their ideas, what are they doing, right? If they don't reply you, I'll reply you. Yeah, go ahead and do a discussion. Also, I'm just gonna throw in like fun questions. If you guys want to answer, go ahead. If not, it's fine. Let me think. Dry noodles or soup noodles? Which one is better? You guys prefer the noodles to be dry or in soup? I prefer it to be dry because I feel like the soup noodles, when you put it for a long time in the bowl, it's gonna be soggy and like wet. But some people like it though. Oh, soup, okay. Just I know people like soup noodles because the soup is nice and you drink the soup after you eat the noodles. Like the makeup. Yeah. Nice, 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 nice. Korean ramen you prefer dry, but Maggi you prefer soup. Oh really? Okay, okay. Korean ramen is the like spicy one, right? Like the bulldog. It's quite spicy though. Last time I tried it, it was not a good experience. Cool. Soup for real? Yeah, yeah. Soup. Oh, bulldog. Nice, nice. I feel like a lot of people like bulldog. It's like the cheese, like the triple cheese, the triple spicy one. Yeah, I think I tried like once and I was like, oh no, this is too spicy for me. Too time spicy. Yeah. Nice. Soggy noodles. Oh, okay. That's cool. And then I know a lot of people like drink the soup. Hmm. Okay. 6:47. I hope you guys are done. We're gonna move on to like the designs first. And then if you have different designs, you feel free to like share or send a screenshot in the chat. There's no right or wrong, but that's just my design. That's like my way of doing it. If you have your way of doing it, that's really encouraged. Okay. So here, what I want to do is I want to put like a table arrangement. Sorry, not absolute arrangement. I want a table arrangement. I want a table arrangement. So I want two columns. One is food, one is price, right? So how many rows I want? I actually want 5 rows of food, but also I need to save 1 row for the title. So it adds up to 6 rows. And then now I can just show in a bunch of labels whenever I want. Okay. Oh, okay. wait, a thing I realized here is I actually don't want label and I want text box instead. I want text box instead. So let me just. Okay, so label one should be food, and then label two should be budget. So it's gonna be a shopping list slash budgeting app. Okay. To improve the shopping list, we can have like a little brainstorming session on how we improve the shopping app. But then for now, we are just gonna design whichever that makes the function works. Okay. So we are gonna have text box, a few text box. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, we need to kind of remember which text box we are using. So here it's actually text box 6 and then to text box 10, which will be our budget. And then text box 1 to text box 5 will be the name of our food. Here, if you see that, oh, it's out the screen already and you want to like design it to like be more like aesthetically pleasing, you can actually click on the label arrangement and the width, you choose it fill parent. And then this one, everything just put fill parent. So it will just like fill it up, but that's totally up to you. Personally, I don't really mind, so I'll just keep it this way. Okay. And then down there, I want a total budget. On the total budget. Total. And then I want to have another text, which is my budget. So here I realized that it doesn't look as good as I expected. So I want it to be in a horizontal arrangement. Here I can just drag it in. Horizontal arrangement. I have total budget and then budget. Okay, so here I can actually change the background color into 9. So it looks better, okay? But that's totally up to you. So my action here should be, I want to have a button that says calculate or save or finalize. Here I can put anything. In this since soup noodles is more of a popular choice, we're just gonna put soup here. So it can be anything, right? It's just a text on the button. It can also be a picture. They use it as a button. So let's say you feel like fun today, you can go to Google and download like a Mario emoji and then use it as a button. That's totally up to you, however you want to do it. So we're gonna work on this one. So food 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then budget 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I click button, I'm gonna add everything on my budget and then give me a warning. Okay, give me a warning. So there's two ways I can do it. First one is notifier. I send a notification on the phone, or I can use a label. It works the same. It's like exact same thing. If you put notifier in the blocks, okay, in the blocks, I can actually find that I have show alert. Okay, I can show alert. Okay, so in this example, I'm going to use the show alert function rather than the text box label function, because this is something new we're going to work on today, right? So when we have this ready in our app, what we're going to do is we go to blocks. This app is like easy, but then the hard part will be later on, okay? So when button 1 is clicked, what I want to do is, when button 1 is clicked, I want to have a really long function of math. I want to change my label. Which label again? My budget label, right? Which is label 4. I want to change label 4 to my summation. So I want to change label 4 text to, I want to add everything up. I want to add a lot of stuff. How many numbers I'm adding? 5. So I pull 5 here. And then I can just go to text box 6 and I click their text. Okay, can anyone tell me what I'm missing here? Or you can just think about the answer. I'm going to tell you in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so what I'm missing here is actually to set this to numbers only. Okay, the reason behind it is because I just don't want like users to type in alphabets and then create an error. So I'm just gonna type numbers only. I'm just gonna check numbers only here, but it's up to you if you want to check or not. totally fine. But to make it like again, you need to think of from the perspective of a user. It will be easier if it's take numbers only, so they can only type numbers, right? And then here we are just going to put everything in. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so here I'm gonna change to 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so after I have a summation like a addition function, now what I want to do is to check the warning, right? To check warning. So how does the warning work is when button is clicked, I want a if else statement. Okay, if now the label for text, right? If label for text is a math operation, right? Here I need to use math operation to compare the value. So here I can actually choose. So if the text is bigger or bigger than greater than what? 50, right? If it's bigger than 50, I'm going to call notifier to so alert. Okay. And then the notice, I can actually just take a text here and say, you are buying too much. Okay. So this is going to tell the like a pop-up notification. If it's enabled in the settings, you're going to tell the user that, oh, you're buying too much. Okay. Buy less, buy less. Okay. So that's how this app is going to work. Notice that there's only one button to click. So it's a very, very easy way for a user to interact. Okay. Now to enhance my shopping list. Okay, I'll give you time to like do this program, like copy this code into your MIT App Inventor and try it out. We'll go until like 7 p.m. Actually 7 p.m. ish. Okay, and then we are going to brainstorm about how can we make this shopping list app better? How can we make this shopping list app better? Think from the perspective of the user on what else do you want from a shopping list? You doesn't just want to key in and then calculate, right? There's gonna be more stuff. Okay, so if you have any ideas, you can type in the chat. I'll start first. Okay, again, there's no right or wrong. It's what do you want in a shopping list app? For me, I want it to be blue. Okay, there's no right or wrong to this answer. You can just type it in and then we'll look at the suggestions. And then a few minutes later, like after you've done this thing, you can tell me that you're done, type done in the chat, and then we're going to discuss um what are the improvements that we can work on this app. Okay? Cool. In the meantime, I'm gonna also put in fun questions just to make sure that everyone is on the same plane. Like I know it's a Saturday morning. I know it's the first day of holiday. If I were you, I'll also think twice. Should I actually join this thing or not? But here I'm telling you that this is worth it because you're gonna learn a lot. Like in terms of the the thought process you should have in designing, and you're gonna be it's gonna be beneficial for you. Okay. Uh, let's think of another fun question. Okay. Hot shower or cold? Okay, tell me when you're done with this shopping website. Oh shit. I'm gonna open the program here so you can like copy or refer to. I'll say. Okay. If you have any questions, please ask as well. It's a very, very, very welcoming place. And if you think you have like a different approach to the shopping list and budgeting app, please tell as well so we can exchange our ideas. Okay. You can tell me what if you're done with it. Cold shower. Okay. I hope you're done with stuff. Nice, nice. I've been staying at my dorm of my school. Sometimes they don't have like hot water on like a very bad day. So sometimes I'm forced to take a cold shower. But I prefer hot shower. I kind of miss that. Cold shower. Nice. I wish I like cold shower. I think their heater broke or something. And then it took like a week to fix. So I'm forced to do cold shower for a week. Yeah. But I guess it's also the weather, right? If it's like a rainy and cold weather, the hot shower will be nice. But if it's a hot day in school and then you just got home, just want a quick shower, I think cold shower is nice. So it's like relaxing and it gets you back in the mood to like do revision or ready for the tuition or anything. Yeah, cool, cool, nice, nice. It's really nice to hear. Tell me if you're done, okay? Or if you need more time, or you have any questions, or you have any suggestions. Literally anything. We can talk about anything in the chat. It's a really small meeting today. Like there's only a few people in it here. So it's really chill. Cold weather or weather. If you're done, please type done in the chat so we can move on. If you're not, continue doing the work. If any questions, please ask. And I also put some like fun questions in the chat, so you can refer to if you want to. Like if you can like interact with it, like we can have discussions. I don't know, just to make you not feel sleepy or boring. Cold weather, nice, nice. I'm like the in my place, the sun just set, and then it's turning cold now. Yeah, just now was quite hot when the sun was shining on my face. But then I probably would prefer hot weather because you wear like one t-shirt only, and then cold weather you start like wearing a bunch of clothes. Oh, I'm not in Malaysia. I'm in California for uni. So I'm doing my university here. So sometimes I get messed up with the time. It's like 7 p.m. here. I know it's like, is it 10 a.m. in Malaysia? I think it's 10 a.m. in Malaysia. So every time I was like, whoa, it's a really early morning for you guys. Yeah, 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 actually. But like I I think the hot weather is nice though. You wear one cloth and that's it. Like you don't need to bring a bunch of stuffs with you. You don't need to bring a jacket. But it depends. Sometimes it gets too hot in Malaysia. Hmm. Okay, snow. Yeah, yeah. I think they're cool. Okay, if you're done with the app, just type done in the chat and then we can move on. If you're not, please keep working on it. And then it's the last done. Okay, nice. Okay, it's the last app we are going to work on today. Nice, done, done, done. Okay, we have 3 done. So I hope you guys are ready for okay, for the next app, we want to work on mental health. So let's say you guys create an app that is about or wants to create an app about mental health, and you want to have this like little cool feature, you can add this in, okay? Okay, now we are going to do uh we're going to do motivational quotes. Okay, we're gonna do motivational quotes. What I want here is I want a selection in the screen. How are you feeling today? So just now I asked a lot of like a multiple choices question, right? I asked whether you like hot shower, cold shower, soup noodles, dry noodles, right? It's A and B, right? So same thing here. I want a how are you feeling today? So if you want to, you can also like add your own questions. It's totally fine. And then I want a no or a good or bad. So I want to feel really great. I want to feel great, or I want to feel miserable or sad. So it's up to you. So A and B. And then because it's an app for mental health, what I want to do here is when I click still okay, nice. First day of holiday though. I hope you guys are excited. All right, so how are you feeling today? It's either miserable or good, right? So when the user choose great, I want the app to tell the user that the great feeling like it's a good thing to have a great feeling, but we always need to remember that we need to share the great feeling to other people. So that's the one feature. And second feature is if the user choose bad, like the user is not feeling, it's not their day, I want you to have a motivational quote, so notification to the user on motivating the user to do anything they want. So the motivational quote, I don't want just a quote or like three quotes repeating. I want around three quotes, and then I want a randomized quote. So it's not every time I click it's the same quote. I want a randomized quote, and then when I click I'm feeling great, I want to tell the user that you should spread the happiness to other people. Okay, so that's a really easy mental health app. I want two things. How are you feeling today? Good, bad, and then when it's bad, I want to motivate the user. When it's good, I want to tell the user to spread this happiness to other people. Okay, so same thing. If you want to choose like noodles, yes, no. Then when you choose no, you can have a prompt. When you choose yes, it can be an action itself. It's totally up to you. But here we are working with the mental health app. So again, I'll give like a 15 minutes time. So this time I'll give you like a longer period to include your toilet break and designing part. We didn't have a break yet. So I'll call this a break unofficially, but I want you to do work in your break as well. So in this break, you are going to design the app. Okay, you're going to design the app. And then I also hope that you go to the blocks and start messing around with it. Why? Because this specifically, the last project I choose for today is really easy in terms of the design. And I want you to spend a few time, like your time on the blocks, like mess around, arrange around. Again, there's no right or wrong. As long as it works, it's fine. It's perfect. Okay. Uh, so I'll give around like 15 to 20 minutes. You can have your water break. You can ask questions in the chat. You can also ask fun questions like me in the chat, you know. You can ask just ask in the chat like, or what do you prefer? Like to watch YouTube on the TV or to watch YouTube on the laptop, right? And then other people answer perhaps or I'll answer, right? So 20 minutes, you can either work on it or you can have some discussions with your friend. You can ask questions to me. I'm not going to work alongside with you because I feel like the only thing I can show you is the design, and then the blocks is quite complicated. You have to think yourself. Okay, great. I'll give you around like 15 to 20 minutes for water break, and then work on the app. At the same time, no, that's not at the same time. Just do at the same time. I'm just gonna put like fun questions again, and if you want to, you can have a look at that. Okay. Wow, panic attack or anxiety. Hmm. I'll okay, like the worst one I'll say is anxiety because it stays kind of long. Panic attack is just for like 5 minutes. So it's just, you know, when you're trying to sleep and then sometimes your brain, you know the meme that the like the girl is trying to sleep and the brain is like no and then show effect. I feel like if I feel like that is a panic attack. Uh I think panic attack is more doable because anxiety sticks kind of long and it affects the whole day. You know, panic attack is probably the 5 minutes and it's over. Anxiety is kind of bad. What about you though? Which one do you not like it more? Oh, I'm gonna add another question. Just for you to mess around. McD or KFC? KFC? Nice. I love the McD fries, but the KFC, like, I think KFC mashed potatoes and the chicken is not bad. But I love the McD fries. I feel like KFC fries and I will beat McD fries. I don't know. It's just personal preference. Both nice. Okay, make sure when you guys are answering your question, also you guys are doing what or taking your water break, okay? You'll just keep interacting just to make you not feel bored, keep you motivated. Okay, every like 2 3 minutes, I'm gonna pop in one question or so. Yeah. Would you guys prefer classes in the morning or classes at night? Okay, these are fun questions. Please focus on your work and if you have like time or you have like a cool idea, then go ahead. Okay? Don't get distracted too much. I mean, get distracted, but not too much. Okay? Nice. Nice, silent and focus. Cool, cool. I like it in the day. Whoa. Hectic AI extension for real. Okay. Um, for me, it's probably the morning. So like nighttime, I can do my own stuff. I can watch YouTube at night. I can do my own stuff at night. Oh, okay. I just realized we forgot to go through the shopping list um feature. So I'm just gonna say like really quick of what I think is needed in a shopping list is I want something to check off, right? I would prefer to add a switch if I can in the shopping list to like switch on and off to see what I got already in my shopping cart or which one has not in my shopping cart yet. So that's what I think a cool feature would be to add a switch. Besides that, that's it. Yeah. So depends on what you are doing. Juice, nice. Okay. So if you're done, you can type done in the chat and then we'll start. This will be the last example of the day. So we finish early. We can end it early. Done. Okay, nice. Cool, cool, cool. So let's just start. Okay, let's actually wait a few more minutes for everyone to get ready and then we'll get started. Okay, so I've asked a lot of multiple choices question, A or B, A or B. So this is a really good example of application of these type of questions in this app. So instead of like mental health or how are you feeling today, you can add anything, literally anything. You can do sports, right? Let's say you're doing a survey, you can use this feature as well, or anything you can think of. So first of all, I have a label, a button, another button, and then a label. I think that's it for my design. And then here I'm just gonna add a few layouts to make it more aesthetic. As for label one, you're feeling today. And button one, it's gonna be yes. Button two is gonna be no. Have a great day. Okay, so this is going to be my mental health app. So what I want to do is when a user open the app, it's gonna ask me how I'm feeling today. Yes, no, actually, I'll put it great. Not my day. Okay, means it's not too good today. And it's great today. So I can choose great or not my day, right? So this is the design. I feel like everyone should have gotten a sorry, I've got a call. Okay. I feel like everyone should have gotten like a similar design. You can take a second to like refer to the design and edit yours if you want to, or if you're still working on, please work on it. You're gonna be back 7:30 sharp. Okay. So I hope everyone is on the same page, on how you're feeling today. And then we're now going to move on to the blocks. Okay, we're gonna move on to the blocks. So first of all, we have button one, which is great. So when I have a thing to say great, I want to change my text to something more something good, right? I want to ask the user to share their happiness to other people. Spread the happiness around. Okay, so every time when I click I'm feeling great today, it's gonna tell me to spread my happiness around, right? So I want to change my label to, okay, I need to make sure it's label two. So now when button one is click, button two is click, I want to randomize, right? I want to randomize. So here I actually can, okay. Here I can see a feature of random, pick a random item in list. And then I can create a list here, make a list. So when button two is click, I want to change the label to text. I want to set the text into pick a random item list, which I want to make a list of my motivational quote. Okay. So first one, maybe I want to say hats. I want to say uh, a motivational thing. Good luck on your day. Second one, I want to say go for a walk. The one I will say talk to a friend. Okay, it's gonna be as simple as that. I'm not sure if you guys um found this pick a random from this. So what happens is when I button click, I gotta pick a random thing. So it's gonna be randomized. Okay, it's gonna be randomized here, and then it's gonna be showing in my label here. Okay. So a few more features I can do that I'm going to introduce you here. It's going to be how to make your app better. By the way, this is done for project 3. So technically done for all the projects we can do today. But then just to like push things further, I'm gonna give you a few more uh features that I think you should use to build your app. Okay. So first one is, let's say my app doesn't just have one screen only. What I'm gonna do is to add screen here, and then I need to put a screen name. So here for just as an example, I'm gonna put screen 2. Okay, I'm gonna add screen 2, and then how I'm gonna choose here is screen 1 and then screen 2. Okay, so a function that is important here. We'll get back to the program later if you want to like copy or screenshot it. But now we're gonna do the screen, and then we're gonna combine it together. Okay, first one is button. Button. First of all, I can type uh next question, right? Let's say I want the next question. Then here I should put when next is clicked, I want to open another screen, right? So control open another screen, right? And then the screen name I set to screen 2. So what's gonna happen here is when I click next, it's gonna bring me to screen 2. Okay, but you need to be really careful here. A lot of people will make like beginner mistake, but it's totally fine on making this mistake though, because like you're still developing it. Is when you go to screen 2 and then you design your screen 2 and that's it for the app, you are going to realize that you cannot actually go back to screen 1 without having a button here that says screen 1. So just to make sure that when the user uses it, they are able to navigate back to screen 1, you need to have a button here that says back. Okay, so a button here that says back. So it should be quite self-explanatory. You go to button, click, you're gonna open screen, and then put it as screen 1. Okay, so when button back is clicked, it's gonna go back to screen 1, and then when button next is clicked, it's gonna go to screen 2. Now, the other thing that you should take note of is to how do you store the data, right? You want to transfer one value to another screen. A thing here that you can use is TinyDB. So storage, TinyDB. Okay, I'm just gonna explain a bit about TinyDB and TinyWebDB, or CloudDB, or any data here. So generally we use TinyDB. It will save our data in our phone, in our device, okay? So what's gonna happen here is, we have an invisible component here. We go to blocks, and then we can go to TinyDB, right? Here I have two choices. I can store value and I can get value. Let's say I want to store the value of label 2. Okay, let's say I want to store the value of label 2. So when button 3 is clicked, I want to store the label 2 to I want to store the text. Okay, and then I'll give them a tag. A tag is like a variable, but then it's transferable between screens. So if I go to screen 2, the tag is still there, then I still have my value. Okay, so I can just name it anything. Here I'm gonna put what's the last question we discussed about? Juice, right? So we're gonna store it as juice. Just to show that it can be anything, right? It can be anything. So I'm gonna store it as juice. And then here when you go to screen 2, when button is clicked, I want to add a label here. Label. Okay. I want to change the text. Okay. So when screen two initializes means when screen two is open, I want to set text to here. Same thing. I need to add a TinyDB. I want to set TinyDB. I want to get value. Okay. Here, instead of storing, I want to get the value. It means I get the value. And then here, I want to put the tag. So what tag I put just now, I need to type in the same thing. Okay. So just now I stored juice as my text for label two, right? Now when the screen open, it's going to change my label one text to whichever value I stored in the tag. And then if the tag value is not there, I'm going to show something, right? Error, for example. Okay, error, for example, if nothing is stored there. Okay, so this is a really quick skim through of how you want to navigate between pages and store the data. Okay, let's get back to screen one so you can like copy the program here, the blocks. I'll give around 5 minutes in this screen and then another 5 minutes back on that screen before we end we end project three. So this is first one we learn is randomization of list. Second one is we learn is how do we store the storage and then bring it to another screen. How many data can be stored? Actually it's kind of unlimited because it's stored on your phone. So if you store like a lot of data, you start storing like images and videos, do note that it's going to be stored on your phone or the user's phone. So you think from a perspective of user as well, like you're not store too much stuff, right? So same thing. Okay, great. Ask any questions if you have any question. Have any questions? Okay, I hope everyone is done with this block. I'm gonna change to screen two so you can get a refer to it. Maybe like another 3 to 5 minutes on copying down the code. Oh yeah, another thing is okay, make sure everyone's online first. I'll give it 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you can actually right click and then add to backpack. It's gonna add to the backpack here. So it's gonna store everything you have, and then you can just pull it out whenever you want. Okay, so it's a good thing, especially this kind of functions that you know that you're always gonna use it. You're gonna be quite often. Then you can add it into your backpack. Okay, you right click it and then add to backpack. Okay, great. So after I'll give another 5 minutes to copy down the code. Does it have slide function? Meaning like a Google slide. I think a way you can do it is to add multiple screens and then you add image on it and then make the image clickable. Okay, let's go through that later on, how to make image clickable. That'll be our last thing agenda for the day. Okay, I hope everyone is done with the, sorry man, slide to the screen function, slide the screen function, slide the screen. Not really. I don't think it's possible. Because MIT Inventor is like a very traditional app. You click something, it goes something. You click something, it goes back to something. Yeah. Okay, let's get to the clickable image place, just in case you are going to use it. So what we're gonna do here is we want to add picture here. Let's say I add image, right? What I'm going to do here is to make it clickable, and that's it. I can actually go to block an image when image one is clicked. It works the same as button, except it doesn't have text on it, and that's it. Okay, cool. Okay, thanks. Okay, no worries. So that's it for the 3 projects today, and then I hope you guys learned something. So just a quick recap and a revision. First project, we learned about variables. So we took global variables, we store it as X, and then we use the X throughout so we can add value to it. Why is it useful? Let's say you want to create an app that records a data and you want to transfer data from this place to another place. You cannot always use depends on label. It's going to be very confusing when you're programming it. So it's good, or it's better if you have a variable to it. So that's the first thing we learned in our warm-up. So our first app we talked about, let me check. What did we do again? We did a calculator, right? So in the first app, we talked about the operations we use, how the math feature is used, and then the text box. How do we check the text box into text only? Okay. And then also a few considerations in our calculator app, which as a developer, we always need to consider from the point of view of a user, or you should at least use it for a few times and you know that, oh, actually I cannot divide by 0. So what happens if I divide by 0 is I need to add an if else statement to give me a warning if I divide by 0. So I don't actually do the operation. Okay. So second thing we did today is a shopping app and then budget tracker. So what we learned here is we learned how to sum up everything and then do an if else statement to check our budget is correct. And then we went to like a short 2 minutes of brainstorming, thinking how a shopping app could be better. So you can bring these questions home actually, like after the workshop, you can think about how am I going to make my shopping app better. So let's say you just go to a mall and you start shopping or supermarket, then you start recording out. So first thing first, you want to record on a paper, and then you feel like, oh, record on paper, it doesn't calculate automatically. So I put it in phone, and then phone, now I can put a switch beside it. Then now, oh, I want it to send a notification to me when I forget to buy something. Okay, that works. So you put your phone in the pocket and it keeps sending notification to remind you that, okay, Kip, you need to buy this thing, you need to buy that thing. So you don't forget it when you walk out from the store, right? And then the third app we learned today is the randomizer. So let's say we are working on a mental health app that we want to give some motivational quote, or we're working on a trivia app where we want to have a few things pop up that is randomly random and not controlled. We can use the randomization technique. And then the last thing we learned today is to how to switch between screens by adding a new screen and switch by buttons. And then the last thing we learned today is to use the TinyDB to store the data or to store the value we want. So we can store it in a tag form. Just to remind everyone, we need to have a get value and a store value. The get value, we need to remember the tag. The store value, we need to give them a tag. The tag here can be anything. Okay, can be anything. It doesn't have to do with the value you store. You can just name it as the name of your pet dog. Doesn't matter. Okay. And then what I want to say is oh yeah, we also made image clickable, so you can click on image. So let's say you want to feel fun, and then your app is you copy a picture of Super Mario and you put it on, and you want the Super Mario to be clickable. That works. Okay. So it just depends on how you want to. So today we worked for 3.5 apps, and then I hope that these are the important feature that you can use. So the brainstorming process is always like giving yourself the prompt. So instead of having the app listed, you think of the prompt that you want to do for the app. I mean, not the idea. So you have the idea already. So now you have a prompt. I want an app to do A, B, C. And then the second thing is how can the features be done? What are the stuff that I need to consider? Right? Do I need to consider 0? That's the second app we did, right? The calculator. And the third thing we want to figure out is how can we make this app better? So it's just like the shopping list app, right? How we want to make it better. So as a user, I'll enjoy it more. Okay. And then the fourth one that we learned today is how do we store the value? So do note that for MIT Inventor, every time we close the app and reopen the app, it's gonna refresh my data. It's not gonna store any memories. So if I want to store something, make sure I have the TinyDB value ready and store it as a tag. And then every time I pull the app out, I will have a tag, and then I can show my value. Okay, so that's 4 things we learned today, which I believe you can apply it throughout your development process. Start with the brainstorming, you give us a problem, we improve it, you test it. And the most important part here is when you export the app, it's actually from here, build, and then just choose Android APK or iOS App Store. It's up to you how you want to do it. Completely free for you. And then test it out for a few weeks. Make sure you use it like for like a few days. And then you know that which part should be improved and which part is done. And I'll say that's it for the developing part. Okay, so that's basically done for today's workshop. So if you have any questions, please ask. Like it can be any questions, doesn't need to be about MIT Inventor only or the stuff we were to get today on. So I'll open to Q&A now. If you don't have any questions, that will be all for today. Thank you for joining and enjoy your holiday. Okay, enjoy your holiday and all the best on the results today. Okay, if you have any questions, please ask in the group. If not, you may leave now. Thank you. Okay, if you don't have questions, you may leave now. If you have questions, you can ask. It's up to you. You can open your mind and ask. If there's no questions, that's it for today. Or if you're still trying, I'll stay here for another like 2 minutes. No, actually, I'll just end the meeting if everything is done. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you.